Bison raised their rates at the beginning of the year for owner-operators and for company drivers. And I got to tell you, it has been so successful that they wanted to let you know exactly how much their drivers are making. That's right, they have significantly increased the base rates for their teams. So owner-operator teams can earn up to $360,000 per year. That's right, you heard me say that right, $360,000 per year. Company team drivers can earn up to $120,000 per year per driver. That's right, per driver. That's some big numbers, right? They have a wide variety of only dedicated team positions available for folks to choose from, and Bison has a steady freight to keep the teams moving. So if you want to significantly increase your base rates, then you want to make sure that you sign up for that. Now, Bison has also increased the base rate for owner-operators. Owner-operators running Canada only can earn up to $185,000 per year. They have a wide variety of Canada-only positions for owner-operators to choose from, but Bison has a steady freight to keep the owner-operators moving. So where can you learn more about all of these things? I mean, $360,000 for owner-operator teams, $120,000 for company driver teams, and owner-operators running by themselves can earn $185,000 per year. In Canada only, folks, that is incredible. Well, the best place to go is to go to bisondriving.com. And while you're there, while you're talking to the team, would you let them know that you heard about it from the Left Pedal podcast? Hey, good luck there. You're going to make some great money working for one of the safest fleets in North America. All right, let's talk about what we're talking about today. We're talking a little bit about safer highways for sure. Today, our guest is Travis McDougall. Travis is with Truckers for Safer Highways. He's been on our show before. He was on our LPR live show. I guess probably about a year ago. And then we had him just back on not too long ago. He was on our LPR live show again, talking about petitions. He's got 2 petitions going to make our roads safer. He wants better enforcement and better training. I think those are things we can all get behind. So we're going to talk to Travis today. This is from the radio show. We're going to do this and find out exactly what he wants as far as petition, how you can get involved. And I think we all need to do our part for safer highways. So get behind this. All right, so we'll get into the interview with Travis right after this. All right, on the line, I've got Travis McDougall. How are we doing today, Travis?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good, you're on. That's good. No, it's good when it works. I've had the crash and burn of the studio before. Things don't work when they're supposed to. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. How are you, Bruce?
Good. Thanks for taking the time today. It's I've been watching some of your stuff, sharing some of your stuff. You're talking about you're with Truckers for Safer Highways.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us what's going on. I think the last time you were on the show must have been about 2 years ago because Rita was my co-host, and that's a while ago. So.
I think it was quite a while ago. So.
Yeah. So what's going on? Because I remember you started that last time you were on the show, and where are we now? I know we're still talking about it. So what's going on?
Yeah, we right now we have 2 petitions going to put before the federal government. They're sponsored by Kitchener Center MP, but we're asking for unified training for across Canada. So if you're trained in Ontario or you're trained in BC or you're trained in the Maritimes, you're going to be taught how to be a truck driver in Canadian climates, no matter where you get your training. Because if you get training in Southern Ontario, in the GTA, that doesn't mean you're necessarily prepared to drive in Northern Ontario or the mountains for that matter.
Yep.
And vice versa, right?
Right. Totally agree. Would love to see that. I think, has there been anybody opposing that? I mean, I think other than just the provinces, which trying to get government on board with anything is a challenge, but I think that everybody's been wanting that. I know in Ontario here, I'm in Burlington, so I'm in Southern Ontario, and I know in the Truck Training Schools Association, we've been talking about that and we've been wanting that. So is that what you're hearing across the country?
Well, I actually had a meeting with Philip Fletcher.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
with,
I know Phil
with
well.
Truck
Yeah.
Training School.
Yeah.
And he said he'd be on board for that. And then he also agreed with our second petition that is calling for, improved, better standards for our training schools, right?
Yep.
Right now it's 103.5 in Ontario minimum entry level training.
Nothing.
Which is not much. You if you want to be a hairdresser or a barber, you have to go through more intense training. So, and anyway, so the other issue is we're seeing and we're hearing a lot of these training schools only 30 to 40 hours, on average or approximately is being spent in the seat, while they're driving. And we'd like to see that to change to 80% of all training these new drivers are receiving are in the seat. Yep. You can take your other 20% and do it as pre-trip inspections, teach guys how to run and operate a e-log because that's mandatory now in Canada. So, take a couple examples and show them how to operate it and make sure guys know the laws of hours in service. The e-log, it counts the hours for you. That doesn't mean it makes sure that you're always following the rules and not violating, right? So
I've been agreeing with you. I've been saying that 103, first of all, the TTSEO schools in Ontario used to be at 200 until they put MELT in. And MELT was meant as an upgrade. If you already had some experience, or let's say, your dad drove and you knew a lot about trucks or whatever, you can kind of go up to the next level. But schools are selling it by itself. So now you got people running around with only 100 hours of training, whereas before they had to have 200. And I'm not sure how they're getting away with that. And I hear there's a Quebec school that has 1,600 hours of training. And I know there's one in Quebec. Everybody looks for that course because it's so intense and it's got mountains and everything. But so those don't seem, why do we even need I don't even know why we need a petition for any of those issues. It sounds like a no-brainer. I mean,
it does, doesn't it, Bruce? But here's the problem. We've started the petition in July and we are struggling. We need a minimum of 500 signatures to have it presented in Parliament.
Okay.
And we are the one asking for higher standards of training.
Yep.
It's only at about 140 signatures right now, and the one calling for unified training is only at 411, I think I seen this morning.
Oh, wow.
So it's getting close. But we started this in July, and it expires in November 15th.
Okay.
So our biggest issue, our frustration, I think, as a group, right? Myself and my co-founder, Jeff Orr, we started this group, but we have other members now. And our biggest frustration is everybody can comment and complain online. We're all keyboard warriors, all of us.
Oh, yeah.
We can all comment and complain online, but nobody can take a few minutes and put a signature on something that could make a significant difference. Because right now, the federal government, they like to say, this isn't our jurisdiction. This is up to the provinces. But if we can get enough people to say, the federal government should take the lead, show us that this matters to them. Yeah. Because this is an issue that is right across Canada. So why couldn't it be a federal issue? The federal government mandates hours of service. They mandate many other things for the trucking industry. Yeah. And the federal government is in complete regulation of the airways, air travel, and of rail and sea. So why aren't they more involved in land, especially with the collisions we're seeing? Yesterday, there was over 22 collisions in the last 24 hours involving trucks in Ontario yesterday.
Yeah. I hear it's getting bad. In fact, I don't know if you saw it because I know you're on our page. I put out Bison's one of our sponsors, so I had an ad saying they were a safe fleet. Well, I've been doing that whole troll comment. I had to shut it off. I was just getting pissed last night, and I was saying I don't know. But they have won records. And I understand. Now, okay. So where do you run, Travis? Because I know you run up north, and you run all the way across out west, or.
Yes. So myself and my co-founder both run for the same company, and then our other members are for either different companies or in different aspects. We have a few safety and compliance officers from different companies. Okay. We have different members that are in different aspects of the industry that actually chose to stay anonymous. So, but anyway, I run from GTA. I work for a carrier just north of Toronto.
Yep.
And anywhere across the lower provinces of Canada, right? We don't go into the northern territories really.
Right.
But anywhere in the lower provinces. So yeah, we see it. British Columbia, I'm up and down the Coquihalla, the so-called highway through hell that's made it on TV.
Yeah. So I'm seeing, and I've been off the road since 2006. I did drive for 25 years, but I've been off the road since then. But I'm seeing reports and I'm seeing media and I'm hearing from our fans and our audience of people. I mean, from what I'm seeing, they're driving in between two trucks on a yellow line, on a bend with a cliff on one side. I can't believe anybody's doing that. Is that what you're seeing out there? Is that actually what's happening out west?
Between two vehicles on a yellow line?
One coming southbound, one going northbound, or west or east, whichever way you're going. And then someone just tired of waiting because the guy's only doing 80 clicks going up the hill and just passes when he shouldn't be passing at all. I've seen a couple of videos like that. I don't know if they're just fake videos. I don't think it's like dash cam stuff. But
yes. We're seeing what's happening. It's starting with, so you have, you're driving along and you have some distance of clear sight, but there's a hill or there's a curve coming. Well, that's not what a good driver would choose as a safe passing area, right? Especially in a truck, which it takes so long to get up to speed.
Yep.
I haul Super B, so we're 140,000 pounds or 63,500 kg.
Yep.
So, it takes a long time to get up to speed. You need distance to make a safe pass.
Yep.
And we're seeing a lot of trucks right now. It is true. A lot of trucks are choosing to pass in not so safe spots. And that's where we're having these head-ons, right?
Wow.
We had a head-on just outside of Thunder Bay a couple weeks ago. I had to sit and wait for it to clear. It was a head-on collision. And, we don't know what the cause of it was yet. Usually hear about that later, but I can almost promise you it was somebody was trying to pass in a bad spot. And it's a common spot actually, because it's basically single lane and curves there, but
yeah. So now you're looking at more training. Do you see that as the problem, or is this just people being reckless on the road? 103 hours, someone could say I've gone through 103 hours. As far as I'm concerned, you still haven't done the training. I'm from an area where I didn't even have a school, but I had a really good friend show me who had been experienced, and I felt I got a lot more than that because he trained me for 2 years before I actually got, comfortable on my own. But I'm wondering if that's really going to solve the problem. I agree with it. I want more training too. I think that should be, but I'm just wondering if that becomes a cash thing, because we've seen 200 schools. I don't know if Phil told you, there's 200 schools that opened up over the pandemic. So everybody said the 103, it's a new cash thing. I could get into this. There's not enough people policing it. And this is the problem we have, right? So I believe we should have something all the way across the country. But is that really going to solve it? I work with a couple of schools. We do have some good training out there. I don't think they're all bad. There's some good schools out there.
By no means are they all bad.
Yeah.
Our big thing here, I just did an interview with CBC Thunder Bay this morning.
Yep.
And North Bay Nugget last week. And we were calling Truckers for Safer Highways. Our group is calling for two things: significant improvement to training. So that's where our petitions come in. But we're also calling on the Ministry of Transportation to, for lack of a better word, wake up at the wheel, because currently we feel like they're asleep.
Yep.
And realize that these scales across the country, or across Ontario, for instance, should not be closed. These scales, these inspection stations. I can tell you, Bruce, which scales from north of Barrie, or from our yard north of Barrie when I leave, till I get to either Winnipeg or till I get to BC, which ones are likely to be closed and which ones are going to be open.
Right.
And that's because most of them are closed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I'm on a trip right now going to Winnipeg, and I left Barrie a couple of days ago, and I haven't seen an open scale yet.
Wow.
And there's several that I've passed. None of them are open.
Yeah.
They're building a brand new one outside of Thunder Bay. It's costed over $30 million. We had that confirmed from the ministry. And then we asked the ministry, actually we had a member of parliament ask the ministry how often it'll be staffed and operated. And their response was it'll be operated as operationally required. So what does that mean? I don't think the ministry knows what that means.
No, and to be honest, I'm part of a Fleet Safety Council group here, and we had a presentation from an ex-MTO officer who's retired now the other day, and he was from, I think, the North Bay scale, and he was saying that he could open it whenever he wanted, but he was kind of by himself, or they have very limited teams. So if they decide that day they're going to do en route inspections, or they're going to go see different, carriers that are in trouble and they have to go do audits or whatever, the scale goes closed. He just closes the scale and so they're working every day. They're just not working at the scale every day. So maybe it sounds like it's a manpower issue.
Oh, it's absolutely a manpower issue. But I don't disagree with that. But we were told, we had a meeting ourselves with ministry carrier enforcement team leader.
Yep.
And that was last December now, so almost a year ago. And they said they had hired, I think, another 20, and they had another 70 coming into training, officers. Yep. So where are they?
I don't know.
December.
Yeah, and the trucking, we were at a job fair the other day, and they were actively recruiting at the table, trying to get people into the ministry. So, it's needed. I'm surprised. Now, okay, so you get 500 people. That seems very low for the size of our industry. Like, is the government really, they didn't even look at that when people were in Ottawa. They said, oh, that's a small group. And look what happened, right? 500, are they going to take it seriously if you get 500 signatures? It seems very low for anything to...
Bruce, we want as many signatures as we can get, of course, right?
Yeah.
But that is the minimum required for it to be for parliamentary secretary's office and office. What do you call it? I can't think of the name now. But that's what they require for it to be allowed to be presented in the House.
Right.
Now they present that in the House. That doesn't mean that a lot's going to be done, but we need these conversations to be started. We need these conversations to be taken seriously, right?
Yeah.
And if nobody's, the old saying, right? Decisions are made by those who show up. So if all we do is sit here and complain and nobody steps up and says we got to do something, then obviously nothing's going to change, right?
Right. So how do people sign the signature? I think I shared a link the other day on ours. So now they press that link. What happens? Where do they go? They're going
to press that link, and they're going to scroll to the bottom because it'll take them to the petition, so they have the opportunity to read it all.
Right.
As soon as they come to that, as soon as they click the link and it opens a new page, it'll be a House of Commons page. Okay. And you'll scroll to the very bottom, and there'll be a little square button that says Sign Petition. You click the signed petition, it goes through it, you have to put in some information. Some of the important stuff is your email and a postal code. You don't have to add your address. Some of that stuff is optional, but your postal code is required because and then it asks if you're a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, this sort of stuff. You answer that stuff, and then you hit that, and it'll send you an email to confirm that you are who you say you are. You're not just putting in random information.
Okay.
So once you confirm it in your email, your signature's done.
Okay. So now you don't have to be a driver. Do you have to be part of the industry? Can you just be somebody who's supporting the cause, or do you have to be a driver?
Canadian citizen.
Okay.
That's
so
all you need
Canadian?
to be.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Well, it shouldn't be hard to get 500. Heck, TTSAO knows that many people. I mean, shouldn't be hard to, because that's a no-brainer. I'm wondering, people just don't seem to understand. Because when you started, weren't you talking about expanding 17? Wasn't that the focus at the beginning of your? Actually,
the group Highway 1117 kills people online. They had a petition going, and they wanted the highways twinned and better maintenance on the highways.
Yep.
And we don't disagree with what they're saying, but to us, more immediate solutions would be, let's get some more MTO enforcement out here.
Yep.
Whether it's, and not just in Ontario, that group themselves kind of focuses just on Ontario. We see it all, right across the country. Yep. And the problems that we're discussing right now, you and I, Bruce, are not Ontario only.
Right.
these issues are the same everywhere, right?
Yep.
Ontario gets a lot of truck traffic, across all different parts, whether it's a 401 corridor or any 400 series, or whether we're looking at, all these trucks that are driving through the north and the two different highways.
Yep. So
there's a lot of traffic going on and a lot of stuff going on in Ontario. So there's always a lot of talk.
Yep.
But, there's 20, like I said earlier, there's 22 collisions, most of them serious. 13, I think, were serious in Ontario yesterday in the last 24 hours. And Alberta had 12 serious truck collisions, and BC had 11 all yesterday.
Now, how many, and you may not know this, but how many of them are attributed to trucks causing it or cars causing it? And that could be a loaded question, depending on which way you look at it, right?
It kind of is because, yes, I understand that as a driver. I understand that question, a lot.
Was it a truck doing something improper to start the accident, or was a car cut off a truck? Those are two different things but same accident, just different.
But in fairness to that, if drivers are going through driver training, part of this driver training in my mind should be defensive driving, right?
Oh, yeah.
We are getting, as drivers, you obviously have to have your license to go your passenger vehicle license before you carry on to get more licensing, right?
Yep.
So now you're going to be more trained, or we would hope, as soon as you get into a truck and you have your license, you should be, in theory, more trained than most other drivers on the road.
That's right.
Right? Yep. So we should be more prepared.
That's right.
How many close calls or how many things have we seen as drivers, and you've drove, so how many times have we looked and went, oh, that could have been a close one.
Yep.
But you saw it, you knew it, you did something to prevent it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the argument of, cars caused it kind of frustrates me too sometimes. Yes, there is those times where there is nothing you can do.
Yep.
And that's why, Bruce, I have a dash camera.
No, I see it, even in my pickup truck, I see it and I back out and I go, oh, this is going to be bad. You can see when someone's tailgating or too close, or something's going to happen, and then it doesn't. You go, I'm glad that one worked out. But it's scary. Now, do you have any stats on, is it, and I'm trying to get away from the whole culture thing, but we seem to be getting dragged into that. Is it one particular culture that's causing a lot of these accidents? Is it old school drivers that are causing this accident? I'm sure most of them are going to say no, but some of the fleets I work with say the old school guys may be better as far as the experience of driving, but when it comes to inspections and all that stuff, they're actually lagging behind some of the new people coming out of school. What are you seeing? I'm just asking for your opinion. I don't holding in any numbers or anything like that, but
yeah, we've seen a lot of what we see on the highways. I don't really want to say it's any one group particularly, to be honest, because we're seeing it from all kinds. I'll see something and you pull into a truck stop and you seen somebody, you pulled in behind somebody right into a truck stop and you seen them do something stupid up the highway like an hour ago.
Yep.
And you pull into a truck stop and you see him get out of the truck and you kind of look and go, I would have thought he'd be somebody that knows better,
Yep.
Or it's the opposite. You see a young guy or whatever get out of a truck and you go, well, maybe he's new. Right. But we're still facing with the same issues, right? People are dying on these highways that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And the numbers are getting scary. Like the amount of fatal accidents yesterday was just unreal. And it was, I don't know what it was like in Southern Ontario, Bruce. I wasn't down there. I was up by driving on the north side of Highway 11 yesterday. So it was beautiful up there. Like sunglasses were on all day and the visors were down.
Oh yeah, it was a gorgeous day. It was a gorgeous day here yesterday, but I found that in Toronto that means nothing. That means people
yes.
don't see. I think in Toronto we hear accidents all day long. Like if you hear the report, I don't even look at it anymore. I look at it when they say, hey, there's a truck involved, and I always look because I know a lot of the carriers. I look to see who it is, but really, there's accidents on the 401 every morning at 5 a.m. No matter where you are, there's going to be a problem. Somebody's going to die, have a truck breakdown in a live lane or something like that. Like it happens so much. I think we just don't even listen to it anymore. like, oh yeah, it's just Monday, Toronto.
Yeah.
You know, we don't think of it that way. So okay, so I don't know what else could we be doing? What would, so we got the training. I mean, signing the petition is first. Is there what else could we do to help this cause? Because this is an important cause for all of us and something I've been talking about for quite a while. So,
well, something else we've also started is our organization has created a letter of support. So
okay.
right now, if your listeners want to support what we're doing, they can email us at truckersforsaferhighways@gmail.com,
Okay.
and we will send, and they ask for the letter of support in their email, and we send them a copy and paste of an email.
Okay.
All they have to do to that is they find out, and if they don't know, they can ask us, and we'll look it up for them. But who their member of parliament is, who their member of provincial parliament is, even local councillors.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is we got to get these politicians talking about it, because right now it doesn't seem like it's a concern.
No, it's not.
So ours, what we've started doing is we've had several people ask for it already, and basically it's telling the government that you, as their constituent, or not necessarily the government, your representatives, but you're telling them that you support what Truckers for Safer Highways is asking.
Yeah.
So you would be supporting us asking for more enforcement and more training for truck drivers. You know, obviously these aren't going to solve every collision. This isn't going to prevent everything, but the direction we're going right now is not the right one. So we got to do something to kind of, you know, mitigate these issues we're facing.
Yeah, and amping up that conversation, I think, is important too. Well, you certainly got our support for that. I'm going to be signing the petition this afternoon, and we'll share this out and get it around for you. And I think, you know, I don't know why. To me, it seems like a no-brainer.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully, Phil. I don't know if Phil invited you to the conference. You really should get out to the training conference in February. I think we talked about that before.
There was actually something being discussed about that. I just can't remember where it's going.
Okay.
With Rita and Philip and where else? But there was lots going on. In February, so I don't know. You know, I have so many emails come in every day. That's why I was just telling actually a reporter on the news. He emailed and asked if I could do an interview, and then I have somebody that sometimes responds to some of the emails for me because I'm a driver, right?
Yeah.
And so this person responded and said, as if they were me, that you can call me anytime I'm on the road. And then that person called me and said, "You are available, right?" I just said, "You're available." I said, "Yeah." And then they said, "Oh, I just looked at how I wrote that. It looks like you're texting and driving. I'll rewrite that." Which is exactly what I'm trying not to do, right?
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I don't want, nor do I, but don't want media personalities contacting me and then asking, are you messaging while you're driving?
Yeah,
well, no, I have somebody doing that for me. So
yeah. Well, listen. So where do we go to learn more about your organization? Is it truckersforsaferhighways.com, or what is your website?
We don't have a website right now.
Okay.
But we're actually, people should know, we are completely operated by truckers.
Okay.
And so anything that costs money, right, is out of our own pocket. So right now we are only on Facebook and I think just started on Instagram.
Right.
As Truckers for Safer Highways.
Okay.
So you can search us on there and you can follow us. And the biggest thing there is we've been posting like safety posters now we have created. Okay. So suggestions to kind of put safety more in front of mind when people are scrolling through their social media.
Yep.
And then you can see what we do. Like, you know, when I had that meeting with Philip Fletcher, the TTSAO.
Yeah, I saw it. It came across my feed, but I've got so many feeds, I can't remember which feed it came across. But it came across my feed. That's how I work. I go, I saw it.
So we post. Exactly. So we post what we're doing on there, and what we're trying to accomplish, or if anything's new, or, you know, if we have received a letter from anyone in government that, you know, doesn't have private information in it, but if we can post it, we post anything that we're trying to do to make a difference so that people can see.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Well, feel free to come on whenever you have time and want to update us on what's going on. Happy to have you on anytime. We're trying to solve the same problem. So I think, we're media. Hopefully we can help do that. I don't know why people aren't listening. I know Phil very well. I used to do a lot of work with TTSAO, and I've know Phil. In fact, I'll be at the conference, so hopefully we'll see you there for sure. But thanks for being on, Travis.
There's a good chance that myself and Jeff might make it, or myself and a couple members might make it. So
all right. So
we're just working out how that'll work.
November 15th is the big day that you've got to have this petition, both of them signed by then?
I think the second one is about a week later, but yeah, November 15th is we gotta have at least 500 signatures. Okay. So just to have it presented before Parliament, and we, that would be the goal. A lot of work actually went into these petitions to create them, because they have to be worded correctly for Parliament, right? So
yeah. I think a lot of people must be nervous about petitions because it locks them into, I don't know, being sued later or something. I don't know if that's what people are thinking.
Yeah, well, petition has no real legal force, right?
Yeah. So no, but you know what? Those are causes we could support. I mean, we've been talking about them here. So thanks for your time. I know you're on the road. I'm going to let you go so that you can get going down the road and make some money today.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting at a closed inspection station right now, actually, in Vermilion Bay.
And it sounds weird. How long have you been driving, Travis? How long have you been behind the wheel?
In my 11th year right now.
Okay, because it sounds almost weird for truckers to say we want the inspection stations open. That shows you the times have changed, right? Because I can tell you most of them are going, no, do not open it. We like it that way. So
hey, don't get me wrong. My heart still skips a beat when the lights come on, but...
Yeah, well, you know what? I was the same way because I'm from the us against them generation. But I gotta say, meeting them at a lot of events that I do and stuff, I think we're working closer together. And I think now that we've seen the way the highways are going, we want the bad operators off. I think people who are trying to do a good job. If you go in and you got a good attitude and you go, I used to say, hey, if I miss something, I'm sure you'll tell me. You did what you could, but everybody has a bad day or is not quite on the ball as much as they should be. But you know what? If you're working towards being the best driver you can, you shouldn't have anything to worry about when you're going through a scale if you're taking care of your equipment and doing what you should be. So
that's a big thing I say. People's big comment of why are you pushing the scales to open more? And my big thing is, well, if you're a safe operator and you do the best you can, you drive safe, you do as you're supposed to and follow the rules, then, there shouldn't be anything to worry about.
Yeah. And so, if your company pays you well, then you're making money. You don't have to do that other stuff that the whole cheating system. You know how many things I've heard, Bruce, about, companies are pushing guys too hard, or this about a company or that about a company. It has been, I'm not sure it is right in the last month or so, but it has been a driver's market. Yep.
Right? Yep. It's for most of us, if you don't like where you're working, if you're not getting paid well, if you're not getting treated well, go down the street, because that guy down the street will put you in a seat pretty quick, I bet.
Yeah, I've worked for good companies. I hauled hazmat for most of my career, and I've worked for good companies. And you know what? If you get good ones, you don't have to be part of that rat race. You will make money.
That's right.
You will make money and drive decent equipment. I've never had that being an issue. I never felt I had to beat it down the road to make an extra buck. I always seem to get lots of opportunities. So,
that's what I'm saying.
You be safe out there, my friend. Thanks very much. We'll have you on again, probably in October. We'll catch up with you again, and we'll get this out on a podcast episode for you as well. But we will share it out and get it going today so we can get you those signatures.
All right. Thank you very much, Bruce. You have a good day.
You too, buddy. Talk soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
All right. So that was Travis McDougall. All right, that was a good interview with Travis for sure. So make sure you get out. Hey, you can help out by signing the petition. So where can you find them? First of all, you can go to Facebook. It's probably the easiest way. Look for Truckers for Safer Highways. You can email them at truckersforsaferhighways@gmail.com, or you can go to the Commons website, and they have petitions.orcommons, COMMONS.ca. Look for petition E4533 and petition E4529. Sign those petitions. You got until November 15th to get them. We need at least 500 signatures to move it to the next step. I don't know where we are, but I think we're almost there. So help them out. Let's make our roads safer. And everybody's got to do their part, right? Everybody's got to do their part on road safety. So if you find that you're one of the problems, let's fix you, okay? So remember, you're the professional. Get some more training if you need it, whatever. If you're not sure of something, ask and find out and be safer. Stop being in a hurry. Trucking is not being about a hurry. Trucking is about being safe and being professional. And that's what you want to do. Hey, thanks for listening to us, everybody. We really appreciate you. Follow us on our socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, X. Get the podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. And check us out on Lead Pedal Radio. All right, my friends. Talk to you later.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.